Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Praise Yah.
Welcome. 27th day.
20,
27th.
27th chapter on
Right.
the 27th day. Yes.
Praise Yah. Let's do some greetings. Well, let's have a word of prayer before we greet everyone. Ready? Father Yah, we want to thank you so much for just bringing us through this week and strengthening us, and you're showing us mercy, having compassion on us, Father. We ask for your strength and guidance. We ask for your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, Father. We ask for your cleansing. We ask for your renewal this week, Father, as we be refreshed in your presence. We ask that you help us to enter into that rest by faith. Allow our minds to be at rest with you, Father, and in the things that you have made. Father, help us to be lights on this day. Father, we thank you. We ask that you enlighten us today as we read your word, place your word, the meaning of your word in our hearts, that we may be transformed. And we're just so grateful and thankful for this opportunity to spend time with each other and with you in the midst of us. We ask this in the name and authority of your Son. Hallelujah. Amen.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hey, praise Yah.
Amen. Praise Yah.
Greetings, Sister Flourish. The Q's, Mr. and Mrs. Q. Shabbat Shalom, Sister Paula. Brother Emissary, no problem. You can watch it. Praise Yah for the recordings.
Yes.
Grateful Dad, Shalom, brother. Shalom.
Praise Yah.
Daughter of Yahuwah, Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Sister Virginia. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom, daughter of Yahuwah. Yes. Let me leave that up. Like, share, subscribe, support the ministry.
We appreciate your consistency, Sister Paula.
Absolutely. Sister Alma, Shabbat Shalom. Micaiah, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom to you and your family. Right. Hope those who are observing the feast are allowing their mind to be set apart, focusing on the elements of the feast, the principles.
The cleansing, renewal.
Shabbat Shalom, R&D Emerson. How you guys doing? Shabbat Shalom, Damien, and I know Kira's there. Brother John, Shabbat Shalom. The Ogdens, walking his ways. Child of Yah. Got the full house today. Brother Jeremiah, Sister Christina, Brother Maurice, the homework giver. Brother Bob, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Everybody watching, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And welcome to Proverbs
Hallelujah.
chapter 27. Shabbat Shalom, Sister Natasha.
Shabbat Shalom.
And we are going to dive right in. How are you going to look at this? Every what?
So let's see how many chapters we have.
It's 27 verses.
27 verses. Okay. No, 28, right? No, 27. Let's do. I've been kind of liking the breaking it in half. I feel like we've been covering a lot of ground like that. What do you think?
The breaking it in half?
Yeah, because for the last, I think, 2 or 3 chapters, we just broke the chapter in half.
Okay.
So in that case, I'll read to like around 14.
All right. All right. Let's see what we have here.
Before we do 27, can I bring out 2 verses from 26?
2 verses from chapter 26? Yeah.
Yes, please.
Which
so
ones?
Verse 27 and 28, I'll read them both. This is from Proverbs 26, verse 27 and 28. Whoever digs a pit falls into it, and whoever rolls a stone, it turns back on him. A lion tongue hates its bruised one, and a flattering mouth works ruin.
Mm-hmm.
I want us to look at Galatians 6:7 with this one.
Do not be led astray. Elohim is not mocked. For whatever a man sows, that he shall reap. Because he who sows in his own flesh shall reap corruption from the flesh. And he that sows to the Spirit shall reap everlasting life from the Spirit.
I thought this was excellent to go over and excellent to correlate, um, basically showing the results from our actions or
Mm-hmm.
consequences.
Absolutely. I like the way that it's worded here because it's basically saying, like, the nature of lying is hatred. Like the nature of it, like the existence of it. There's no way you can
Mhm.
lie to manipulate and then have any other attribute besides hatred. It's kind of like
Mm.
where he says you don't discipline your child. There's no way that you're loving them or encouraging them or wanting them to do better. There's no way you can say that
Right.
because you're withholding the thing that helps. Um, Hatred is not necessarily the aspect of an emotional despising.
Right.
It's just a loving less. Matter of fact, uh, let's see what this word means. Because in the Greek, the word hate means love, to love less,
Okay.
right? It means to, well, in the Greek, the word hate literally means, let me see if I can find it. Because love is a verb, right? It's an action.
So you're
It's
saying that it's commonly perceived like to be like a feeling, but it's actually something that you do or
absolutely,
okay.
absolutely. It's something that you do, and hate is something that you don't do.
Mm. Makes me
So
think about what he was saying to Jacob and Esau. He
yes,
said,
Jacob I've loved, Esau I've hated, but it was he blessed Esau, but he did not. His attention wasn't on Esau because of Esau's ways.
okay,
But he blessed Esau with land and the mountain, and Mount Seir belonged to the Edomites. But look at what it says. By extension, it means to love
of less.
less.
Okay.
So it's interesting. Yes, it can mean to detest, and it can mean, that emotional despising, but it means uh, to not give good.
Okay.
So to love less. Um, Matter of fact, there's an example of this because who said this? Leah.
Mm-hmm.
Leah said that she was hated,
Right. But it
but
did.
Jacob
Yeah.
didn't hate her.
He loved
He
her.
just
Love.
loved her less. He just did not give her the same attention and energy and blessing and pouring out.
Yeah.
He didn't give her the same as he gave Rachel. So when it says that with a lying tongue, when you turn to the people that you love, that you care about, and that you lie, you are not displaying love to them at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
You are taking it away, actually.
So
So
before we move on, I thought Psalms 12:2 um, was a was a great correlation for this.
Psalms 12:2.
Yes.
They speak falsehoods with each other. They speak with flattering lips, a double heart.
And
Mm-hmm.
then verse 3 says, Yahuwah does cut off all flattering lips
Mm-hmm.
and a tongue that speaks swelling words.
And verse 4 says, who have said, with our
The
tongue
tongue.
we do mightily,
Mm-hmm.
our lips are our own. Who is master of, I'm not sure if this correlates, but it has to.
Now, if you could just really quick go back to Galatians 6:7,
Mm-hmm.
because I thought it was really interesting how it starts out. It says, Do not be led astray, for Elohim is not mocked. And I wonder if he's speaking to the fact that sometimes when things are done, maybe you you do them not understanding that Yah is watching you. Yah is here. and you can kind of get away with it. Um, I was wondering about that. Like, was he speaking to? Because he says, "For Elohim is not mocked." Like, why is he saying that before he gives the warning? Like, are people thinking that they could blaspheme, or
Yeah,
what is this?
they're thinking that they could reap in their flesh and gain
Okay,
everlasting life. They're thinking that they can do reap in the wrong and then sow in the wrong and then reap the benefits
I
or
see.
reward. So Yah's like, he's just like, you think you can get over on Yah, or you think Yah, you're gonna trick Yah, you're gonna, like, you're mocking him, like you think that you can't, like he's not really about what he's saying, because he's like, I'm gonna give you a reap, gonna give you the reward based off of what you sow.
Mm-hmm.
And then people are trying to like manipulate and then say that they deserve the reward.
Okay.
And this is like, you can't mock Yah, you can't trick Yah, manipulate Yah.
Okay. Yes, I wanted to know what was the emphasis and him saying that before he gave this important warning.
Mm-hmm.
That makes a lot of
Because it's
sense.
like they're leading themselves astray, thinking that they can sow and reap something else. No, you can sow and only reap the same thing back, the same nature.
I see.
You
Okay.
see, but don't be led astray thinking that you can sow and then reap a different thing. You can only sow to the flesh and you'll reap to the flesh. Sow to the spirit, you reap to the spirit. And that's why it says here in verse 9, let us not lose heart in doing good. See, he doesn't want us to start reaping to the flesh. He wants us to keep on reaping to the spirit. Because in due season we shall reap if we do not grow weary.
So that shows that there's a waiting period.
Yes. And that you cannot mock Yah thinking that you can mix it up. Oh, I sowed 10 times, so the last 2 times I'm gonna sow to the flesh, thinking that you're gonna just reap. That's like you think Yah is not really about that perfection. You think he's
Right.
not really about that honesty. That's like mocking.
All right. Thank you for explaining that. I will start with Proverbs 27, verse 1.
Proverbs 27. Shalom, Sister Kim. Praise Yah, guys. I didn't even see what you guys were saying. Praise Yah. Oh, praise to Yah. Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Sister Marguerite.
Sister Marguerite. Shabbat Shalom. You made it.
Praise Yah. All right. Where we at?
Oh my gosh.
So we're gonna have to regroup right now.
No sound.
At what point
Could you guys not hear us?
did you not hear? What was the last thing? What was the last thing that was heard?
I have to scroll to the bottom.
Were we muted the whole time?
I hope not. Oh my gosh. It
Uh,
starts all the way from. Oh, that's only like 2 minutes.
yeah, I hope so. Let us know how long it's back. Okay, praise you. I didn't know it was gone. What at
The
what point
beginning.
the beginning of the reading, last 5 minutes. Gosh. All right. So right before I started reading from the verse, if you notice, we went to chapter 26. Katura had something to point out. Chapter 26. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I got
Start at the beginning. All
that.
right.
Okay.
Start at the beginning of 27 or from the last point
No,
we
from
were trying to make?
27. From 27.
Let's see. We can do it. I'm starting to wake up now that
With tea with
the
benefits.
tea is helping.
Yeah, the beginning of 27.
I just see yes. Beginning of 26th breakdown or the 27th start.
Look, they're saying the second set of verses.
Oh, okay, second set of verses. Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's go back
Take
here.
it
We're
from the
doing
top.
we're doing it in groups of 9. Thank you guys. Gotta work together. Thank you for telling me that.
Okay.
My goodness. Uh, beginning of 20.
She meant 27.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. All right. Thank you guys. All right, we're gonna start from chapter 27 again. You can go ahead.
Do not boast of tomorrow, for you do not know what a day brings forth. Let another man praise you, and not your own mouth, a stranger, and not your own lips. A stone is heavy, and sand is weighty, but a fool's wrath is heavier than both. Wrath is cruel, and displeasure overwhelming, but who is able to stand before jealousy? Open reproof is better than hidden love. The wounds of a loved one are true, but the kisses of an enemy are profuse. One satisfied loathes the honeycomb, but to a hungry one any bitter food is sweet. Like a bird that wanders from its nest, so is a man who wanders from his place. Ointment and perfume gladden the heart, so one's counsel is sweet to his friend.
All right. Praise Yah. So what we was mentioning is that in verse 1, do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what the day brings forth. And one of the cross references was mentioned was James chapter 4,
Yeah, 13 to 14.
13 and 14, where it says, come now, you who say, today or tomorrow, let us go to such a city, spend a year there, trade, and make profit, when you do not know of tomorrow, right? For what is your life? For it is a vapor that appears for a little moment and then disappears. Instead of what of your saying, if Master desires, if Yah wills, we shall live and do this or that. But now you boast in your proud speeches, for such boasting is wicked.
Even though 17 is a power verse, it's not related.
To him then who knows to do good and does not do it, to him it is sin.
This is one of those verses you have to keep.
Praise Yah. It's the him that knows to do good is a reference of doing good today.
Yes.
Not talking about what you're gonna do such and such tomorrow. I'm gonna do great tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do it today. I'm gonna do what's right and what's good today. So he said, if Yah wills, tomorrow we will do this, but today we will serve Yah. We will do good today. Um, so You
Can
want
we
to?
also bring up the one that says, I believe it's Messiah speaking, and he says, "Don't worry about tomorrow, for sufficient is the day."
Yes.
So that's troubled.
I believe that's Matthew. Oh, Sister Virginia got it.
Let's see.
Matthew. That's exactly what I was thinking. Matthew 6:34. Do not then worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow has its own worries. Each day has enough evil of itself.
Yes.
Praise Yah. If you
And
guys could find it, there's another one.
can you check Luke 17?
Luke 17.
Let's see. 19, 20. Hold on, let me see. No, it's not that one. I'm gonna have to find it.
The scripture says, yeah, I think
What's the word? What is the wording of the one you're thinking about?
I think it is the Matthew 6:34.
Okay.
There's so many different verses correlating with not worrying about tomorrow and the life being a vapor.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's see. Okay. Well,
And what about that one you see in First Corinthians 15:32?
I don't
Oh,
think there's
okay.
stuff with that. Yeah, but James is right here. I think that's the emphasis. James and the Matthew one. All right, let's go back to maybe the second verse.
Okay.
Chapter 2, verse 2 says, let another man praise you, and you not your own mouth, a stranger, and not your own lips. This is very important also. It's easy to exalt yourself based off of what you see about yourself, but the fruit is how you shine your light to other people. The fruit is how, not what other people think. Is the fruit is what how you affect other people in regards to the transformation other people have, the change, the pushing forward, the encouragement, the lifting up, helping them get better, helping them get closer to Yah. That's the fruit. It's not, well, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing that. Oh, wow, you're doing so much. Who cares? I'm only doing so much because I told you all of the things I'm doing. But you're not praising me for what I'm doing, for what I'm shining to you, or
Right.
what Yah is using me to do. You're praising me for what I'm telling you I'm doing. So many people do that in the workplace, people in careers. Oh, I'm doing this. Oh, wow, you're this. No, you have to let other people see it and give the praise, not pat yourself on the back and then let everybody kind of like follow along. That's pride, self-exaltation, vainglory, I think it calls it.
So the fruit should be tangible for others to partake
Absolutely.
in, so that they can partake and see that Yah is good when they taste of
Absolutely.
our fruit or they behold our fruit.
Absolutely. That's why we bear fruit. We bear fruit for other people to taste, not for us to throw an apple at somebody's head. Like, hey, see my fruit? Like, no.
But even that fruit is supposed to give them like a foretaste of the goodness that they can receive themselves if they go
Right.
to the source.
Now, I don't want to be super metaphoric,
I'm very visual, so I
metaphysical.
see things in like images
Now,
and
so
pictures.
people partake in the
Yes.
fruit. What's in the
Hmm.
fruit? Seeds. They
Yes.
partake of the fruit, and the seeds is planted. You like that one?
Yeah, you're a lyricist.
So, um, yeah, there should never be a time where we need to be telling people how great we are, how anything we are.
I think 2 Corinthians 10:18 gives a great witness to what you're
Second
saying.
Corinthians 10:18. You know, we were reading verses that talk about do things unto Yah, right? We read a couple days in a row where it was like, do it as you do it unto Yah. Do it for Yah to see. Let Yah give you the reward. And then we come to this verse saying the same thing. Like, stop patting yourself in the back. Work hard. Doesn't matter if man don't see you. Yah sees you, you know. You said Second Corinthians 10,
18.
18. Oh, yes. For not he who commends himself is approved, but he whom the master commends. Absolutely. Praise Yah. This is very important because the only reason why it's important is because this is the nature, I think this is the nature of men. Like growing up in New York, this was the nature of being outside. Like you gotta you gotta be arrogant to be in that city. You gotta be arrogant, boastful to the point where everybody believes you, even if it's not true. And Yah saying that characteristic is not of him, nowhere near him.
But it seems like he's not saying not to boast, but make sure you're boasting in the correct things. Because if you look at verse 17, it says, "But he who boasts, let him boast in Yahuwah." And there's another
Oh
one.
yeah, in this verse 12, chapter 12.
It says, "Boast that you." There's another one that says something
Yeah,
similar.
for
Let's
if I
see.
wish to boast, I shall not be a fool, for I shall speak of the truth, but I refrain lest anyone should think more of me
And
than
what
what he
he
sees
sees,
in me
yes.
or hears of me, right? It says to keep me from exalting myself. Watch this, guys. To keep me, Paul is saying, to keep me from exalting myself because of the exceeding greatness of the revelations, a thorn in the flesh was given to me. Why did he say a thorn was given to him? To keep him from exalting
Himself.
himself,
It is good for me that I have been afflicted,
that I may
and I
learn
may
your
learn.
right. A messenger of Satan to hit me, to keep me from exalting myself. Many people talk about the thorn in the side, but Paul understood that thing was there because I probably was 2 seconds away from thinking I was something that I wasn't. Just because Yah gave me, look what he says, because of the exceeding greatness of the revelations. It's not like the things that Yah has given to you is not of value, of course. Great, exceeding greatness revelation is of course, but it belongs to Yah. You are a vessel, a clay, a earthen vessel. So he says we need to definitely make sure we're not. Oh, you said
Oh,
boasting,
this
right?
is the
Here we
one I
go.
was thinking
Yes,
of,
this is the
verse
one.
9 and 10. Yes.
So it says, he said, my favor is sufficient for you, for my power is perfected. My power is perfected in weakness. Most gladly, then, I rather boast in my weaknesses so that the power of Messiah rests on me. Boast, not saying, look at my weaknesses, but look at how Yah helped me through my weaknesses. This is what he's saying. He's not saying to throw his weaknesses in people's faces. It says, therefore, I take pleasure in weaknesses, insults, needs, persecutions, distress, for the sake of Messiah. For when I am weak, then I am strong. How? Because Yah makes him strong. Messiah makes him strong. So to commend yourself, you will be removing Yah and his son completely out of the picture. Hey, forget about him. Look at all the things I'm doing. Look at what I'm doing. I'm too much. No. Who
That's
cares what you're
excellent.
doing? What's Yah doing? I think this is the one you was mentioning. Luke, Brother Maurice, Luke 12:19. Then say to myself, life, you have many goods laid up for many years. Take your ease, eat, drink, and rejoice.
Oh, that was
And
for,
Elohim said, yeah, that was for the
yeah, verse 1.
yes,
This is the
you
one.
mindless one. The
Mm-hmm.
night of your life shall be. This is the tomorrow,
Yeah.
the verse for tomorrow. Yes, this is a good one. This night your life shall be demanded from you, and who shall own what you have prepared? So is he who is storing up treasure for himself and is not rich toward Elohim. This is a amazing statement. Not rich toward Elohim.
Wow.
This is the importance. Don't ever think that in the balance, in the scales, that earthly material at any way equates to spiritual richness.
That is an amazing verse.
It is. Everybody's storing up some earthly treasures and not storing up them heavenly treasures. Like, you're done. When Yah comes, nothing that you did on this earth is going to be used as an element of your judgment. Nothing. It's just going to be where's your righteousness? Where's your fruit? Where's your flock? Where's the people that was around you I sent to you to strengthen, for you to strengthen. Thank you, Jeremiah. You got the same good verses. Very important. Very important for us to stay in the correct perspective of ourselves and of how we're able to obtain anything in this life. We have to give the glory to Yah. This one?
Yes. Sister Virginia says, verse 2 reminds me of King Nebuchadnezzar when he boasted and he was expelled for 7 years because of his boasting. Isaiah 2:17.
Correlated Isaiah 2:17. That was Daniel, I think, 4. This is Isaiah 2:17, which says, can you read it?
And the loftiness of man shall be bowed down, and the pride of men shall be brought low, and Yahuwah alone shall be exalted in that day. Hallelujah.
Him alone. So how are we trying to share his glory and his his credit on this earth? It's him alone that's going to be exalted in that day. Praise Yah.
Hallelujah.
See what the Ogdens got. Philippians chapter 4, looking at verse 6 and 7. It says, do not worry at all, but in every matter, yes, praise Yah. This is the worry. Don't let tomorrow worry about itself. Do not worry at all, but in every matter, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known. And then it says, the peace of Elohim, which surpasses all understanding, shall guard your hearts and minds through Messiah. So it's so important to rest everything on Yah, not worrying about tomorrow, not worrying about, it's see the difference of, there's a difference of planning and worrying about tomorrow. Planning is not necessarily worrying about tomorrow. Planning is just, you're trying to be orderly. You're trying to execute things in an orderly fashion, in decency and in order, right? To worry about tomorrow is to have these expectations.
Yes.
And
that's a great point.
Create these scenarios in your mind of imaginary things that need to happen or possibly happen, rather than, this is what Yah willing, this is what we'll do. Everything else we'll see.
Yeah. And then the Q said, I think we read that's 12, right?
I'm not sure.
No, we didn't
look
up
to
at
34. Let's check that out. Luke 12:22.
We had 12:18.
He said to his taught ones, for this reason I say to you, do not worry about your life, what you shall eat, nor about the body, what you shall put on. The life is more than food, and the body is more than clothes. Look at the raven, for they neither sow nor reap, which have neither storehouse nor granary, and Elohim feeds them. How much more valuable are you than the birds? Which of you, by worrying, this one right here is a good one, is able to add 1 cubit to his lifespan? So it's interesting, like, you worried about losing your life, and it's like, is your worrying helping you keep it? It says, if then you are unable to do the least, why do you worry about the rest? Look at the lilies that grow. They toil, they spin, they don't toil or spin. And I say to you, even Solomon in all his esteem was not as beautiful as these. If Elohim so clothe the grass, which today exists in the field, and tomorrow is thrown in the furnace, how much more you, O ye of little belief? Do not seek what you shall eat or what you shall drink, and do not worry. You see, for the nations of the world are worried about these things. They seek them because they're worried, they're dismayed. Your Father knows what you need, but seek the righteousness, right? The reign, the righteousness of Elohim, and all these things shall be added unto you. This is a correlation to Matthew chapter 6:33. Do not fear, little flock, because your Father did delight to give you the rain. So it's there's two aspects here. He's talking about the principle of relying and depending on Yah, not worrying about the things you don't have. But it's also a focus on the disciples and the work that they had to do, which was quite a little bit different than the work everyone else had to do. But yeah, the principle still remains. Yah is able to provide.
Right.
Brother Maurice, you're going to go to Proverbs 25.
Yes, I am.
I'm going to go to Jeremiah.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Proverbs 25:27 says, "It is not good to eat much honey. It is esteem. Is it esteem to seek one's own esteem?" Yeah, that's a great one.
Is it esteem to seek one's own esteem? Wow. It wouldn't be, right? Would that actually be glory? To seek your own glory? Jeremiah 9:23 says, let not the wise boast in his wisdom. Let not the mighty boast in his might, nor let the rich boast in his riches, but let him boast of this.
Right here.
Hold on, let me put the orange on that one. That he understands and knows that I am Yah.
Hallelujah.
Doing loving commitment, right ruling, righteousness in the earth, for in these I delight.
Right.
For the days are coming, declares Yah, when I shall punish all circumcised with the uncircumcised, all of them together. That's excellent, Brother Maurice. I'm not going to tease you on your homework. This is good. 2 Corinthians 10:18 brings us back to the one that Keturah brought out. For not he who commends himself is approved, but he whom the master commends. Praise Yah. Always got to remember that. It is to glorify Yah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Ooh. All right, guys. See you guys tomorrow.
We'll end on that verse.
That is heavy. Well, dang, we didn't even
No, we
pass
didn't
chapter.
even.
All right, guys. We got to slow down a little bit.
All right, so I got
Which
verse
one?
5.
Verse 5. Open reproof is
27, Proverbs 27, verse 5.
27, verse 5. Open reproof is better than hidden love. Verse 6 goes with that. The wounds of a loved one are true, but the kisses of an enemy are profuse.
Okay, so I think Torah has a good foundation in Leviticus 19:17.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Do not hate your brother in your heart. Reprove your neighbor for certain, and bear no sin because of him. The connection between those statements, hating your brother would be not reproving
That's
him.
what I was thinking. Yeah.
You see
To
him
not
doing
say
something
something.
wrong, and you just let him die. But don't hate your brother. Reprove your neighbor for certain, and bear no sin because of him. Like you will be. Um, I think this correlates with Leviticus 5. It says here in verse 1, when a soul sins in that he has heard the voice of swearing, and that he's a witness, or has seen or has known, but does not reveal it, he shall bear his crookedness. See that? This is pertaining to the people of Israel. This is all the people that say that they are the people. This is not him. If you hear the nations doing something, this is all the people who claim to be the brothers and sisters, who claim to be the daughters and sons of Yah. You see them doing these things. It says, if you do not reveal it to them.
Can I see the word swearing?
Mm-hmm. Swearing, cursing, a oath, well, a negative oath.
What's execration and imprecation?
Yeesh. Imprecation. Oh well, imprecation just means I don't have any. I don't have any idea. We're about to check.
How about execration? Do you know what execration is?
Listen, I don't know. Imprecation, execration, oxecration. Let's see if we can look it up
Okay.
over here. A spoken curse.
Okay.
Oh. So what would execration? So imprecation is something that's professed out loud.
I don't think they can see it, right?
No,
Okay.
we're just gonna tell them. And the expo no.
Yeah. No.
Wait,
Just type that and see if something comes up. I think you spelled it right.
I think so too. It's not.
Oh no, you gotta take out the P and the
Oh,
E. Yeah.
wait.
So it's EX. Yeah, there you go.
Execration? Oh, execration.
Yeah.
Okay. Imprecation is something that's professed, a professed curse. What in the world are these people doing? Execration is
Just
feel or
okay.
express great loathing.
Yeah.
Is to show the emotional response. Is to show the emotional effect, right? So if someone shows like despising with their emotions and their attitude, that is execration, according to what Strong's is saying. Imprecation is a person who expresses it with their words and their, expressions.
Okay.
So it says if you hear someone doing that and you're a witness to it, whether you've seen it, heard it, you heard somebody say it, if you don't reveal it to them, you shall bear his crookedness. Responsibility.
So that makes sense. And then I thought Psalms 14:15 was a great reminder. We read that earlier in the chapters, but it's excellent. 14:15. Oh, I gotta put my glasses on.
Psalms 141,
31.
verse
Five.
5.
Okay,
Is
let's
it?
try it.
Let's see. 14, 15, 141, verse 5.
Yep,
Is
you
it?
highlighted
I
it.
knew it. I knew it. Let the right, and it's highlighted for you too. Let the righteous one smite me or reprove me in loving commitment. It is the oil on my head. Let my head not refuse it. My prayer is still against their evil deeds. So praise Yah. This is David saying that he invites correction. Of course, when he's wrong, it's like ointment. Ointment is supposed to be used for healing. So it's like his.
Yeah, I was just gonna say another translation says that the righteous reprove me, and it should be for my the kindness to me.
Yeah, It is a kindness. It's a mercy. It's a kindness. It's a love. And then it's a healing, because he says it's like oil on my head, you know, to heal me from the wrong that I was doing, you know. So we should all try to adopt that mindset. See where he gets this mindset from. You know, Yahushua didn't have to get reproved, but the character that he possessed had humility. You knew that he was humble. So we have to understand this level of humility in order to be ready to allow Yah to perfect us in this sense. Um, we have our Yah is a jealous Elohim.
Yes.
Absolutely. Isn't that in one of the Proverbs?
Yeah, I remember reading that. Yeah.
Proverbs 27 in this verse. Oh,
And
right
then,
here.
oh, wait. You know, it says, but who is able to stand? This is very
Before jealousy. Okay. Praise Yah. It says these verses saying circumcised and the uncircumcised. Does that mean the Jews and Gentiles as taught? Meaning all who now come to Torah as men must be circumcised still? No, it's just saying that Jews and Gentiles as taught, meaning like Yah's going to judge both Jews and Gentiles. Not saying anything about all the Gentiles need to be circumcised. It's just saying that everybody will be judged on their deeds, and circumcised and uncircumcised alike. That was from Jeremiah, right?
Which one?
The one with the circumcision will be judged with the uncircumcision. I think that was Jeremiah 9.
Corinthians. But,
Yeah. Either way, it's
yeah.
talking about the fact that the wickedness is done by the circumcised people who call themselves circumcision and the uncircumcised in the flesh, and that both will be judged by Yah. As taught in the church. Oh, okay. As taught in the church. I don't know how the church yeah, the Jews and Gentiles. Yeah, I guess that's what they would express when they hear Jews and Gentiles. Church the circumcised is all the people who kept the Torah, because remember, it wasn't just Jews that was circumcised; it was everyone that entered into the covenant uh, that was circumcised in every single person. The Jews, their servants, their the strangers that wanted to partake in Yah's covenant, all of them had to get circumcised at that time. So it wasn't like an exclusive per nation. The nation of Israel definitely had circumcision, but the nations didn't. Sister Virginia has verse 6. Oh, the wounds of a loved one are true, but the kisses of an enemy are profuse. She correlates that with Romans 12, 8 and 9. Or let's read verse 7. If serving in the serving, or who is teaching in the teaching, or he who encourages in the encouragement, or who is sharing in sincerity, he who is leading in diligence, he who shows compassion joyously, let love be without hypocrisy. Shrink from what is wicked, cling to what is good. And let me just clarify what that word hypocrisy means. Which verse is that? 8 and 9. Without dissimulation. Without sincerity, or without insincerity, hypocrisy, unfeigned. Look, it derives from, what's this, G5271, G55271. Give me 1 second. 5271. Look at what this word is.
Which one?
Haplatis. This is where the word hypocrisy or hypocrite is used. This thing is slowing down.
Simplicity, sweetness.
Sincerity. So you see, so without sincerity, hypocrisy is not being sincere, right? Not being true or real. You're being fake,
Like an actor.
like an actor. Yes. So hypocrisy is an emphasis on the person acting, and look at what the people are acting like. It talks about the different gifts, and people are acting like servants. People are acting like teachers, acting like they're encouragers. This gets me a lot. The encouragement aspect really bothers me a lot with the motivational speakers. Um, the compassionate or the people who think that not holding you accountable but just soothing your emotions is compassion. That's not compassion. That's spoiling, manipulation. But anyway, that's acting, I would say.
So that was for verse 6, right?
That was, yes.
All right. Before we move on, I have for verse 7 where it says, Proverbs 27, verse 7, one satisfied loathes the honeycomb, but to a hungry one, any bitter food is sweet.
Hmm.
I thought Matthew 5, 6 was an excellent reference for this one, showing like what the righteous should be hungering and thirsting after.
Right. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, because they shall be filled. Right. Because it says here, where are we? One satisfied loathes the honeycomb. Um, I think it's like when a person eats too much, they don't want no more of the honeycomb,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or when a person thinks they have it, I would say. When a person thinks that they had enough, they don't want it anymore. But to a hungry person, any bitter food is sweet to them. Like they appreciate anything, even the bitter food.
So, yes, that makes a lot of sense to me. I think I was looking at it from the perspective like we should be hungry
Yeah,
for,
correlated.
yeah, like I'm,
Those people who think they are filled by Yah already,
mm-hmm,
they don't want to hear nothing else.
right.
But those people who are hungry and thirst, they always want, they appreciate even the, this is bitter. So like even
Mm-hmm.
the arguments, even the little, even the insults that come on the side, you want to know why. What makes you think that, even if it's negative?
Mm-hmm.
But those who, Revelation 3 says, those who say they're rich but they are poor. So those who say they're rich and they have need of nothing, but they don't know that they're poor and need
They
everything.
need everything.
So
Yeah.
I don't think that is like saying, if you're satisfied. You know what it reminds me of? When Israel got tired of manna and they
Mm-hmm.
said, all we got is this manna.
All we got
All
is
we
this
got,
manna.
the thing is
Yikes.
falling from heaven for 40 years. And they're like, all we got is this manna that falls from Yah's hand. Like that's insane. But that's a person who don't really see the value in what they have, or a person that don't have it but think that they're full, that they had enough.
Yes.
And it's like, yeah, it's like you guys didn't have enough. You guys don't appreciate.
When I read it, what I was thinking was, you know how like when you first meet Yah, there's like such a like a hole that's there. It's like you're thirsty, you're hungry, and he like creates like this longing that
Yeah,
you now before it's like Nothing else can fill that longing. And then when you come to meet him, he exposes himself to you and invites you in. It's like I feel like that's like the hunger that he was talking about, like
Yeah.
that missing piece
Yes.
that everybody has without him.
Hmm. It's like it's not a like the feeling that
So I'm not saying that Proverbs is saying that, but I
right.
was just saying when I read it, it just made me think about the first experience with Yah and just
Yes.
like being so hungry and thirsty, and then him like quenching that dry place.
You know what I like about that is that I just keep remembering people telling us. I remember when I first was studying the Bible, me and other people my age at like 19, 20, and they kept telling us it was just the honeymoon stage.
Oh,
That's the worst thing to be telling young people that study in the scriptures. That's just the honeymoon stage. It will wear off.
because it wore off for them.
Yeah, because they didn't have any type of passion.
Yeah.
Now the interesting thing is, it didn't necessarily wear off. It got weaker because I listened to them, but it didn't wear off. And 43 years old, and it's like the value of it is not gone.
Mm-hmm.
The emotion of it is not gone.
Yeah.
But the because I could remember how I feel from that time,
Yeah.
but I could remember also the confusion that I had and the foolish advice that I was given. You know, it's the honeymoon stage is gonna wear off, and all of the young people just went about doing their own thing. They rather us do that than be on fire.
Yeah.
It was
Fire.
just a crazy, horrible experience. But in that time, I was young minded. I didn't know what Yah desired, so I trusted them. So I figured they would know better than me.
I see it, a lot of times people try to quench other people's fire for Yah because
Mm-hmm.
it makes them feel uncomfortable in their
Mm.
complacency or their
Mm.
slackness.
Yeah,
They don't want to feel like there's more that they have to do. Like I
absolutely.
remember when we started keeping the feast and people were like, "There's more?
Oh
Why?"
yeah, I can't believe
You're like, "What? This sounds amazing. We get to be
we gotta
together
do.
for a week and studying. That sounds
Katora and
amazing."
I said we got some great news. We gathered friends. We started breaking down the Torah in the church. We was in a church in Brooklyn somewhere. And then after we broke it down, one of the first statements was, "We got to do something else." It's like, what? What are you saying? So I don't know what the root of that is, and I'm glad I don't, and that's why I don't go against people's conscience. Like Yah, Yah loves to interact with us personally. And so
Mhm.
I never tell somebody go against your conscience because I said or because I think something is wrong. If I thought it was sinful,
Mhm.
it will be a different story. But if it's something more along the lines of like you want to follow, but you believe it says this, I'll say, well, follow your conscience until Yah shows you clearly otherwise. But there's a lot of people that they is a burden. It's grievous. His commandments are grievous to them. And
I like what the Ogden says. We should be excited every day because every day he reveals something new. And it's like even in the trials, even in the waiting, if you're surrendering properly, you're gonna be like he's gonna show up for you. You're gonna receive
yes,
his strength when you feel weak.
absolutely,
You're gonna receive his guidance when you feel confused.
absolutely.
Like every day. But I think the problem comes when we start walking without him. And then we start thinking we're doing it. And
Hmm.
then
In our
start
strength,
go ahead.
no, I'm just
Yeah, in
adding.
our strength, and then we start falling. And you're like, where are you, yeah? But it says that nobody can pluck us out. We
Other,
only can walk out in a way.
mm, he carves us into his hand. Says nobody can take you out of my father's hand or my hand. And so And he says, I'm near. Call on me while I'm near. I'm in your heart and in your mouth. And then it's like, where are you, Yah? No, it's only you. It's only you. And we don't have to say, like, there's no moment where we have to believe that he's far from us.
Mm-hmm.
That's a belief that doesn't come from Yah. There's no point in which he's far until it's judgment time. That's when it's no longer, let me help you repent, is I'm gonna give you over to whatever you want. What you show me you want, that's what I'm gonna give you over. But until then, nobody should have this thought in their mind that Yah is far, because he says, call on me while I am near. So while he is near, don't waste no time. Don't waste no time. Give him everything, all your energy, all your might. Don't worry about what people say about, oh, it's too much. What they also said to me, if you're too too heavenly minded,
Yeah,
you're no
no
earthly
earthly
good.
good.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Was Yahushua too earthly minded? And if he was he no earthly good? That's an evil statement to confuse young believers. You know, we need to encourage young believers to follow their conscience, follow what Yah says, not to follow their emotion, not to follow their inklings, but to follow what Scripture says and to trust Yah. This is what's going to develop the voice instead of just feelings. So praise Yah. Let's just a little testimony. All right. I think verse 8, like a bird that wanders from the nest. I think this kind of correlates with what you just said.
Which one?
A bird that wanders from the nest, so is a man who wanders from his place. So it's like what you were saying about, um, like, nobody can take you out of Yah's hand.
Oh.
It's like you leave the nest. Like the nest is home.
Mm-hmm.
Is where your food is where your warmth is where everything is.
Yes.
But you leave here. You leave home. Oh, prodigal son.
Yes, I like
Prodigal
that
son left
perspective.
home. He didn't stay home with his father and his brother and all the resources. He left home.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he started feeling alone.
Yes.
Oh, turn this on.
Yes. It starts blinding me this time of day.
um, Ointment and perfume gladdens the heart, so one's counsel is sweet to his friend. Praise Yah.
Um,
Yeah, something for that?
well, in verse 10, but we didn't read that yet,
Let's
guys.
go. We can go
Okay.
to it now.
You want me to just read the next verses or?
Or if you want to go straight into the correlation and then you could just read the rest after.
Okay, yeah. So for verse 10, I had Ecclesiastes 4, verse 9 and 10, but I'll read Proverbs 27, verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
It says, do not forsake your own friend or your father's friend, and do not go into your brother's house in the day of your calamity. Better is a neighbor nearby than a brother far away.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had Ecclesiastes 4, verses 9 through 10.
Two is better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. Because if they fall, one lifts his companion up. But woe to him who is alone when he falls, for he has no one to help lift him up. This is important. The Torah tries to help me a lot with understanding this aspect because it's hard to uh, not be loners so to speak, in a sense, because of a lot of things, a lot of reasons, ways that places we've been, places we grew up. So that's hard. But Yah tells us to be vulnerable in a sense. He doesn't tell us to be foolish in who we are vulnerable to, but he tells us to be vulnerable. And he tells us that this is the purpose of the brethren, because even in regards of two, like let's say when we say two, sometimes we associate husband and wife, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes a husband and wife can have issues and they need companions to hold them up. You see what I'm saying? Because they're too close to comfort. Two friends, it's a little bit different it's a little bit easier to kind of like keep watch over each other and not get caught up in the sentimental, emotional, all these other things that's involved in a marriage. Like a marriage, I would see as one person in a sense of complete, complete strength.
Yeah.
I think that even in the marriage, you still need strength from other companions, other people who are following Yah, serving Yah, and they can hold up your marriage possibly. But if you're alone, if two people are just friends walking with Yah, it's easier, it's a different mindset to look at each other and be like, once you hear something, it's easier to just say, we got to stand up, don't do that. In a marriage is a little bit different. You're merging,
Right.
you're literally merging into like one.
Right.
So I really like this idea. Two are better than one, because the whole purpose of lifting each other up when we are down. It's like Yah knows that the enemy is gonna get us, trip us, and we need each other. Those who are following Yah, we need others who are following Yah. I'm gonna say that specifically to hold each other up.
Yeah.
We got Brother Maurice. I think he probably has some correlations.
So I will read Proverbs 17, verse 17.
Okay.
It says, "A friend loves at all times,
Mm.
and a brother is born for adversity."
And then Proverbs 18:24 says, "A man of many friends might come to ruin, but there is a loving one who sticks closer than a brother."
And then Yahusha being the ultimate friend in John 15:13.
John 15:13. No one has greater love than this, than one should lay down his life for his friends. You are my friends if you do whatever I command you. Praise God. Absolutely.
But I see in verse 15, John 15:13 how we can exhibit these characteristics for each other.
Yeah.
When you see someone and may not be may not be like a favorable situation, but you put aside what you want, put aside what you feel, whether it be anger, bitterness, contention, whatever, and you for the better, for I don't know, to help him, or like we were just reading, to
The
lift
greater
him up.
good to
Yeah, yeah. I want to say greater good, but yes,
but it is like
you.
you think about I'm like right now, like we're home.
Hmm. You want to sleep?
I see the bed right over there.
Yes, but this,
Somebody calls, hey, we need your help as an emergency.
yes.
Rest is good.
Hmm. But you
Help
help,
help
yeah,
is greater.
yeah,
Helping them is greater. It glorifies Yah more, and that's the mentality. Like how much more can I do for Yah?
right.
And so we sacrifice the way that Yahushua did,
Yes, absolutely.
and we praise Yah.
But just was trying to think of like ways that it may not show up, like dying for someone, but in the everyday, like avoiding contention, giving soft answer when you may want to scream, or um, maybe you're busy, but lending the ear to someone who needs. Was just thinking about little ways we could show this.
Absolutely, excellent, excellent. The principle of laying your life down is not always about taking your life.
Mm-hmm.
Laying down your life is not always about taking your life, but
Surrendering, yeah.
surrendering your life to the situation. All right, that was a good correlation. You're gonna read up to 18.
How about up to 27?
All right, yeah, go ahead. No,
No.
no, yeah, go
You
ahead.
sure?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, my son, be wise and gladden my heart, that I might have a word for him who reproaches me. A clever man foresees calamity, hides himself. The simple shall go on, they are punished. Take the garment of him who is guarantor for a stranger, and for a strange woman pledge it. He who greets his friend loudly early in the morning shall have it reckoned to him as a curse. Drops that never cease on a very rainy day, and a contentious woman are alike.
That's like 7, 8,
You're counting.
9, 10 times. Man.
Whoever represses her represses the wind, and his right hand encounters oil.
Mm-hmm.
Iron is sharpened by iron,
Mm-hmm.
and a man sharpens the face of his friend. He who tends the fig tree eats its fruit, and he who guards his master is esteemed.
Hmm.
Hmm.
We gotta
As
come back to
in
that one.
as in water, face reflects face, so a man's heart reflects a man. Sheol and destruction are not satisfied, so the eyes of man are not satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
A refining pot is for silver, and a furnace for
Mm-hmm.
gold. So a
Mm.
man is tried by his praise.
Mm.
Even if you pound a fool in mortar with a pestle, along with crushed grain, his folly shall not leave him. Know well the state of your flocks. Set your heart to your herds, for riches are not forever, nor a diadem to all generations. Grass vanishes, and new grass appears, and the vegetation of the mountain is gathered in. The lambs are for your garments, and the goats for the price of a field, and goat's milk enough for your food, for the food of your household, and sustenance for your girls.
Mm. That's an interesting statement.
Yes.
Let's start investigating and
So,
where you started from. 11.
is it Brother Randy? Okay.
Yes.
He says Proverbs 27:13
13.
is a bit confusing.
Okay, let's check this out. Take a garment of him who is a guarantor for a stranger or a cosigner for a stranger, and for a strange woman pledge it. Hmm.
Can you see some different
Let's
translations?
start investigating the different translations. Let's do compare. Remove his garment, pass by for an insulting man. No, I'm not gonna read that one. A faithful version. Take the garment of him who is a surety for a stranger. Hold it in pledge when he is surety for a strange woman. That's a little bit different. Hold it, because the other one said give it to a strange woman, didn't it?
Ah,
Didn't this one say? Didn't say.
and for a strange woman, pledge it.
Oh, okay. Maybe pledge it means hold it, right? Let me go to the King James. Take his garment that is surety for a stranger, and take a pledge for him. Take a pledge of him for a strange woman. So, let's go back to the compare. Uh, American Standard Version says, "Take his garment that is a surety for a stranger, and hold him in pledge that is surety for for a foreign woman."
Mm.
Basic Bible in Basic English: take a man's clothing if he makes himself responsible for a strange man, and get an undertaking from him who gives his word for strange men.
Mm.
That is not basic English. Brenton, Septuagint, take away the man's garment because a scorner has passed by. Whoever lays waste another's goods.
So where's the strange woman coming
Mm. I think it's more like a foreign. Let's see. Let's see. Because even this one right here that's breaking it down is not using strange woman, So let's
in?
Let me see. So the English Standard Version says, "Take a man's garment when he has put up security for a stranger. Hold it in pledge when he puts up security for an adulteress." Oh, hold it. So you keep it from him when he's. So you take. It's like if you're a cosign, you take collateral. So when they make bad business practices with unrighteous people, you hold it. You keep it from them when they make bad business decisions with someone else.
Okay.
So if you're gonna take, so it's saying if you're taking, if you're gonna co-sign for a person, right, and then that person you take something from them as collateral. So when you co-sign for them and they make a bad business deal, that collateral is yours. You have something to replace what you lost,
Okay.
possibly. Um, and then let me go to the King James real quick. So strange woman is not necessarily, it's H5237. So it's not, it just says strange. It could be like a foreign deal, like a strange deal that they're doing, not necessarily a woman.
That's what's confusing it a little
Is the
bit.
woman
Yeah.
aspect is because the context of the strange woman earlier is a little bit different here. This one is not, it's just talking about something that's strange, like something that's out of the normal, right? So take the garment, because if you notice back in the days that it was the garments were valuable possessions, right? Especially when it was made a certain way. Um, few examples: Solomon, when he made a deal with the Philistines, he had to pay them 30 pieces of garments, right? Achan, when he took the gold and the Babylonian garment and he hid it because it was valuable,
Yeah.
and Judah, when he went to Tamar thinking
Yeah.
it was a prostitute,
That's what I was
and he
thinking.
gave like his collateral was his garment, his ring, and his staff. So garment is like collateral. So take collateral to a person that you're gonna be a co-signer for, and when they make a foolish deal, you hold the collateral.
Okay. All right. Let's check some of the
Let's see
comments.
what we got.
Oh.
Wait, where are we? Did we? Whoa! Did
Hmm.
you guys?
Oh, hold
Okay,
on. We
right
missed some
here.
stuff. Oh, and we didn't say hi to Brother Charles.
Shalom, brother Charles. I didn't see him.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Okay. Sister Paula said pretty much all of Ecclesiastes will cover verse 20.
Okay, we're gonna check that out.
Okay. And then Brother
Um,
Eric says Proverbs 19:30 and Proverbs 27:15 have a correlation.
hmm The dripping, drip, drip.
Okay. Yep. And verse 18.
He who tends to the fig tree eats its fruit, and he who guards his master is esteemed. I like
Mhm.
this verse. We'll come back to this one because I believe we kind of found out what it means. But let's, these are wise words. So he's telling you, make sure that you take a garment from him to be wise when you're going to be a co-signer for someone, to make sure you have collateral.
I'm gonna scroll down because I saw a few people explaining this.
Oh yeah, this one
Yes.
particularly. Okay.
Like if you go down a little bit, right there, Brother
Okay, brother
Endel.
Andel. When you make a deal with a stranger, get something from him and any other foreigners with him to make sure he will pay you. Ooh, ERV. What?
Do you have that one?
I don't, but
Try this one. RB.
what's that? No,
No.
that's a revised King James.
ERB. Hmm. What does
ERV.
that stand for, Brother Endel?
ERV.
Oh, and then go down more.
Is it possible to be speaking about being your brother's keeper?
I don't think
Um,
so.
it well. Here's the elements that we know.
Because you're saying strange.
Right. So you are. It says take the garment of him who is a guarantor for a stranger, right? So someone who is Someone who is a cosigner for a stranger. So you already see whoever you're dealing with is dealing with a stranger. And for a strange, uh, whenever he goes to do that deal, you hold it. So you're holding collateral for this person as he does deals with strangers. It seems like I like that you said brother's keeper because it seems like in this one here that is telling you to hold something for your friend that's about to make some bad deals. So when he makes those deals, he has, and he, maybe if he loses it, you have the ability to give him
That makes sense.
something of value.
And then Mrs. Q said, the world's poorest credit risk is the man who agrees to pay a stranger's debt.
Yes. I think there's another. Oh, that's chapter 12. Yes. I think I was about to say there's another verse that says that. Yes. So we did read about that earlier where it says, where is it? Chapter 12?
Yeah, I think it's this one.
No, not this one.
That's 12:13.
There is another one talking about the debt being a guarantor for a debtor. I remember us talking about it.
I think there's more than two that we read.
Yeah.
Okay. Easy read version. Okay.
Praise Yah. So I think he said he understands. Praise Yah. Easy read version. All right. ERV.
We compare the TS 2009 and KJV with the ERV as well.
Oh, okay, good.
I have to look
Praise
into
Yah.
that
ERV. Maybe I need to download that right.
You have access to all Bibles here?
Not all. Some you have to buy.
Okay.
But ERV.
Oh, there's the ERV.
Where?
Right there. Easy to read version.
Oh.
Cool.
Ta-da.
Another study tool.
Wow.
Excellent. All right. It is getting late. Let's see.
Right.
What else we have?
All right. Praise God. They got it. Let's go back to it. That was a good verse.
Excellent.
To break down simplicity.
Let's see. I wrote down a verse. Oh, for verse 12. Proverbs 27, verse 12. A clever man foresees calamity, hides himself.
Mm-hmm.
The simple shall go on, they are punished.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote down Proverbs 22:3 for this one.
22:3. Clever man foresees evil and hides himself, but the simple go on and punish. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember this one stood out to me because it shows that there is preparation.
And there's effort to stay away. It's not about seeing calamity. It's foreseeing it. Seeing it far away, seeing it about to happen, seeing the possibility of happening,
and
avoiding it, rather than the simple-minded, which is like doubtful or
are they even thinking about
lenient.
it? Or are they even considering it? Do they even have that wisdom?
Yeah, nothing is gonna happen, and it's like when you're dealing with this world, anything can happen. What do you mean? Too much confidence in the fact that it won't. It's not a smart thing. It's better to be safe. The statement is true. It's better to be safe than sorry.
And did you explain 27:14 already? It was interesting.
27:14.
Proverbs 27:14 says, "He who greets his friend loudly early in the morning shall have it reckoned to him as a curse."
Right, like if you yelling at me early in the morning, you're gonna get cursed out.
No, you don't even curse. What are you talking about?
No, but He who greets his friend loudly in the morning shall have it reckoned to him as a curse. I think I think it is talking about what I was kidding, but
Like annoyed, that person will
like
be
an
annoyed.
annoyed, yeah, like you he's gonna tell you that's not a good thing. It's not, you're
Hmm.
not doing it right. You're greeting me in a, let me see, in a manner that's, he that blesses his friend with a loud voice. Yeah, it's like you're doing it in whatever way you want to do it, and it's not being taken as a actual blessing. It's being it's it's being expressed in a different type of way.
Yeah. All right. And the Ogden say, stay away from the strange woman, is what we read early on in Proverbs. Stay
Right,
away from sin.
right. And stay away from being a guarantor to a stranger, is said too. But now it's talking about to hold a pledge of a person,
Hmm.
of another person who's a guarantor. Maybe that person is a friend or a family member, to be helpful as far as making sure they don't lose everything.
So I can make sure I fully grasp this. Grasp this. And I'm visual, so bear with me.
Okay.
So it's like if you come to me because you are trying to get a guarantor for something else, like I need to make sure.
No, if I am the guarantor for someone else,
What's Give me an example of a situation. Like say you want to buy a house. Is it similar?
like let's say I want to buy a house.
Hmm.
No, it's not. I think it's more about doing business with somebody.
Okay.
Like, let's say um, you want to do business with Kai,
Okay.
and Kai don't do good business,
Okay.
and you said you're gonna do business with Kai.
Okay.
So I say, okay, let me hold this um, while you do business with Kai. And then whatever happens in that deal, if it goes south, I'm holding it, like it seems like I'm holding it for you, so that way you're not completely destitute because you did business with the wrong person.
Okay. But hopefully he will do the right thing, and then you will give us our property back. Is that how it works?
It depends. If
Okay.
the garment is like
But if he
cashmere, I may
doesn't,
not give it back.
but if he doesn't, because he's high risk, you have. Um,
I have something for the friend. That's why Brother Bob said, "Does this look like being your brother's keeper?" Because it says that
mm,
you are taking it from a guarantor of a stranger.
of a stranger.
You're like the
Okay.
third party. You're the third party behind the guarantor.
Okay, I got it. I was not connecting why we needed a middle person.
Yeah, it's probably like a person just. It's kind of like when people have an accountant and then he's like, "No, you can't use this money for that business. It's not a good business," you know.
Yeah.
So they have to like liquefy other things in order to do it. Well, we're talking too much business, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like they have to do something else in order to so that way they can keep you safe when you make this foolish decision.
Got it. Perfect. Thank you for explaining that. All right.
Don't wake up in the morning. Don't wake up your neighbors early in the morning with the shout of "Good morning." They will treat it like a curse, not a blessing. That's a little bit too easy to read right there. Just keep the words as there, making it too easy. I think we passed a couple other ones up here.
I don't think so.
All right, but if we passed anything, remember, there's a lot of correlation. So if we passed anything, repost in the bottom. You said you had something.
But yeah, so Proverbs 27, verse 15. Seems like these are your favorite verses.
Why you say it's my favorite person? Are you being contentious right now? Drip, 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 drip,
You'll be happy to
drip, drip,
know
drip,
Proverbs 21,
drip, drip, drip,
9.
drip, drip. You said Proverbs what?
21, 9 is the backup for that one.
21:9. It is better to dwell in the corner. Good thing we got a deck, right? Edges go out to the deck.
Oh my God.
Then in a house shared with a contentious woman. Yes, absolutely.
All right, and moving right along as quickly as
Well,
possible.
let's kind of dwell there a little bit. This is like the 10th time. It's something, maybe there's some deep, intimate things we got to pull from this.
Proverbs 27, verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
I love this verse. Iron is
Yes.
sharpened by iron. This shows like how much we need each other. You can't
Right.
just be in the corner sharp. We got to come and reason together.
How can you be a sharpening for someone while you're by yourself?
Yeah,
It doesn't, it's alleviate, it's stealing the responsibility, is putting away the responsibility of being your brother's keeper by being by yourself.
hmm
And I understand it is hard. It's hard dealing with people, different types of people, but there's a responsibility we have to lift up the people that actually need the lifting up,
yeah,
you know.
for sure.
So a man sharpens the face of his friend. It's referring to his countenance.
Yeah,
Iron sharpen iron is not just two people talking about Yah's word. It could be one person using Yah's word to encourage and lift up and strengthen and motivate someone else. You know.
it also reminds me of the verse that talks about the body being fitly joined together.
Mm,
Like we are all a part of a bigger picture.
right.
Um, and it's beautiful when we can come together and then we can esteem Yah and how our gifts and
Right.
our wisdom and our collaborations.
But you notice where that is
hmm
amongst the brethren.
Yeah,
I think we read a verse that said to prefer one another.
it does say that. There was one other
Hmm.
thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do-do-do.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this one, 18. He who tends to the fig trees and eats its fruit. It means that they they partake in the work that they're doing. He who guards his master is esteemed. That is the one I was like, is that talking about Yah? He who waits, he who shamar, that's shamar. He who protects his master shall be honored. And you know what's interesting? This reminds me of a statement that I heard a long time ago. It says, it was like a half a statement to make you think, right? It says, you see all these people doing their own thing, everybody's quiet, minding their own business in their beliefs or churches. And then it says, and then he said, but even the dog barks when his master is being attacked. And I was just like, whoa, snap. Like, wow. Yeah. Like, our master is being attacked constantly.
Wow.
And people are quiet, silent, keeping it to themselves. We just read about if you hear certain things, to say it, reveal it. And so many people are keeping quiet, so called minding their business, not knowing that they're supposed to be about their father's business, but they're minding their own business. You know what I mean? So, you know, I like this verse. But it says, he who tends to it will eat the fruit of it, and he will protect his master. So when you're doing the work, you partake of the fruit and you contend, on behalf of Yah and his son.
I found the verse I was talking about for verse
Mm-hmm.
17, Hebrews 10:24. We,
Hebrew.
we did read it in a different context, but I think it applies here also.
The both of these?
Just 10:24.
Okay. Let us be concerned for one another in order to stir up love and good works.
Yeah, I thought that was fitting for iron is sharpened by iron,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and
number
a man
25.
sharpens the face of his friend. Oh, that's what we were saying.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
You want to read
yes.
it?
Not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging, and so much more as you see the day coming
Coming
near.
near. The day is ending. This era is ending.
Yes.
It makes no sense to be in a corner by yourself. You know what I mean? So
Need to be getting together,
getting
studying the
together,
word.
studying the word,
Yes.
encouraging others with the word, correcting others with the word, and stop letting people die in their sins.
Oh, there's a verse that Brother Maurice had
Which one?
right there. He was just
Oh,
for yes.
see that? The Ruach moving, the Spirit is moving, inspiring.
And then for verse 18, oh, we skipped Brother
Oh, this one.
Eric. James 122 for Proverbs. Well, that's because we didn't get to 19 yet.
Okay. Which one are we on?
I think we're now we're on 19. We just
Okay.
yeah. Did you have anything else to say about the guarding your master?
No, I just really believe that when it says we're supposed to contend for the faith,
Mm-hmm.
we're not fighting other people. Yah wants us to fight a certain way. Remember, it says we don't war after the flesh, but our weapons of our warfare are spiritual to the pulling down of strongholds. Many times, that pulling down of the strongholds doesn't stop at just pulling down what's in our minds, but also helping your brother pull down the strongholds that's in their minds. And that has to deal with expressing the truth, simplifying the truth, explaining, the difficulties and the ideas, correlating what scripture says about life and the things that cause us to be depressed all the time. So those are the strongholds that we need to pull down with Yah's truth. And you know, so we need to defend Yah's word. We need to defend his belief system. Um, and sometimes it's not like someone is attacking Yah's belief system, but for somebody to think that it's false, it's like an attack. Because they're going to spread that it's
Yeah.
false. So we have to guard it by like not allowing people to have thoughts without any counter thinking. That's why it says always be ready to give an answer.
Yeah, because we can't assume that everybody has our same perspective.
Right.
That's why it's good to share because then you will get to hear others' perspective. And again, that
Mm-hmm.
goes back to what the scripture was saying about us being fitly
Joint
joined
together.
together.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Praise Yah.
we don't, not one of us have all the pieces,
Right. Not one of us is the whole
the whole
entire
picture.
piece. And even Yahushua said he's the head.
Hmm.
He's the head. So it's like he knows that he's going to use his body. you know we are attached to him. His mind is what controls us, and so we need to be used by that. We need to allow him to use
So Proverbs 27 verse 19 says, "As in water, face reflects face, so a man's heart reflects a man." All right, so Brother Eric has James 122. Maybe past it.
it and become doers of the word. Let's read verse 21. Therefore put away all filthiness and overflow of evil, and receive with meekness the implanted word, which is able to save your lives. And become doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. And then in verse 23, I think this is the verse he was talking about. Because if anyone is a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like a man who looks in his
Mm.
natural face in the mirror, and he looks at himself, goes away, and immediately forgets what he was like.
Wow.
Now that I want to clarify that. I want to make sure that is clear. You read Yah's word, it shows you what you are, what you need, and what you need to do. Then you put the word down and you go about your day to day as if you didn't just read Yah tell you what to do, what to change, what to surrender, what to give up. You I remember we used to talk about this all the time when we would bash the church, bash any religious organization that's not teaching people how to walk. But when we were bashing the church, as everybody does, one of the main things
When
was,
we were bashed in the church, you're not saying when we bashed the church.
well, when we were bashed in the church,
Yeah.
it turned into us bashing the church.
I just didn't want
And
it
I'm
to
not
sound
talking
like
about
we
you.
were okay.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking
Yeah.
about me.
You're bashing the
Yeah,
church. Okay.
of course, of
Right.
course. When I was bashed,
Yeah.
I started to bash. That's
Okay.
just the sinful nature. It was definitely a sinful nature. Um,
But even when we got together, it was them going against us, but we weren't trying to come against them.
no, not at that time.
Yeah.
I'm talking about before that. But it's like, you're trying to you read what the scriptures say, and when I would always profess, oh, they go to church, do all this holy stuff, and then they're in the club, you know, yeah, because they forget what they just read, what they heard, what they, well, they wasn't listening or
Yeah.
whatever it was. They put their face in the word, and then they put it down, and then they forget what Yah requires of them.
Yes.
And that's what many of us still do today with nitpicking at what they prefer to do for Yah and what they prefer to be lenient on.
Excellent. That's why I got. I think this is the parable of the good soil, Luke 6:45, because that's what it was making me think of. We read it the other day, but we didn't read the full. Nope, that's not that one.
But this is similar. The good man brings forth
It's
good out of
Matthew.
the good treasures of his heart.
Mm-hmm.
The wicked man brings forth what is wicked out of the wicked treasure of his heart. For out of the overflow of the heart the mouth speaks. I think there's another proverb that says something along those lines.
This correlates, but the one I was thinking of was the one with the good soil
The
and the
sower,
path.
yeah, the sower.
Can we try Matthew 12:34?
Yes, I think that's it.
No,
No,
it's not.
13, 13. Yeah,
There it is.
13. Um, which
Which one was
element?
it? Um,
Stony.
um, I don't. This is not. This is not it. Here
Yeah,
it is, right here.
yeah.
Okay, so it's verse 21.
Yet he has no root in himself. Okay, the rocky. That's sown on the rocky places. This is he who hears the word, immediately receives it with joy, right? It makes sense.
It has no root.
Yet he has no root in himself, but is short lived. When pressure or persecution arises because of the word, right? Immediately he stumbles.
Yeah.
We have to allow it to kind of take control, not take control, but reign. I like that word reign because when you say reign, it's like an emphasis on like rulership, someone who is in charge of judging what goes on. And I feel like the word of Yah has to be the main source of how we do things, how we live, you know, rather than just letting everything, figuring it out each way. No, we put the word of Yah in its proper place as the source of government in our life. You know,
Hmm.
the Ogdens have Proverbs. Did we do 18? 1 Corinthians 3:8.
No, we didn't look at that.
1 Corinthians 3:8. He who plants, he who waters are one, and each one shall receive his own reward according to his own labor. And that goes with
It says Proverbs 27:18 says, "He who tends the fig tree eats its fruit,
mm-hmm,
and he who guards his master is esteemed."
praise Yah. Brother Maurice, Genesis. 39 verse 2. And it came to pass that Yah was with Joseph, and he became a prosperous man, and was in the house of his master amidst the Egyptian. Protect his master, right?
Yeah.
Proverbs 17:2 he correlates it with. 17:2. A wise servant rules over a son who causes shame and shares an inheritance among the brothers. This is a really well. Why can we didn't break this down last time? It's still in yellow. That means that we probably didn't overlook it. We overlooked it. A wise servant rules over a son. That means like a servant in the house rules over the son of the house who causes shame. And the servant shares the inheritance with the brothers. That means that the master gives the servant the inheritance with the original brothers of the house. Interesting.
That's very interesting.
Very interesting, the principle here, like how Yah does things. So when people are looking for like some type of exclusivity, we see here that Yah is extending it to the servants over the sons that are causing shame. Many people don't care if a servant causes shame, they feel like they could still get the inheritance. No, the ones who cause shame, that inheritance will go to the servants that won't. The ones that the Yahushua talked about, the highways and byways, those are the people that's going to partake and not the son.
But how fitting is that for even today? We see people saying, I am this, so I have a right to this. Not understanding that it's in your walk, it's in how you walk, it's in how you live, and it's not so much what you were born into that makes you an inheritor, co-inheritor with Yahusha. But I mean, we see that everywhere, especially with a lot of religions. If you think you're in the religion, then you're good. But Abba says those who have my ruach, those are the ones that are my sons and daughters. Those who walk in my commands, those are the ones that ambassadors for me.
My representatives. And Isaiah 56, he says, if you, the son of the stranger, keeps my covenant, keeps my Shabbats from polluting it, he says, I'll give him a name better than sons and daughters.
Yes.
And he'll be able to sacrifice in the house of Yah. So praise Yah.
Right, we won't be able to do that one right now.
Yeah. Ray, welcome. But we have a specific thing that we're doing. We're not going to be deviating from that to talk about the calendar, but you could always email those questions in, and we'll see if we get into a conversation like that soon.
I like 673's question. Does this count as assembling ourselves together?
That's a good question.
Absolutely.
I think it does. I think it does.
Sharing the word and the wisdom.
Yes. I mean, I don't discount it. Matter of fact, that's one of the reasons why I feel like Yah is blessing us with this technology, because the way that people are able to fellowship, the way that people are able to interact, study, pray for each other, testify, encourage each other. We're all able to do that. So being so far away from each other, I believe it's definitely a blessing, and it definitely is assembling, especially when you're in a place when you are physically isolated.
Yes.
We ought to. I think we need to take advantage of these opportunities online.
All right. And Brother Charles.
What?
I just was reading what Brother Charles said. I feel like he's visual too, because he always gives like really good examples, like that you could like see what he's saying.
Yeah. So when you meet your friend loudly in the morning, you're doing the opposite. I know I'm late. Yeah.
That was from verse.
When you're greeting your friend loudly. Now there's verses. 14. The refining pot. There's verses that we did not cover.
Well, we can mark them for tomorrow on
the Shabbat.
We
will mark them for tomorrow. We will go back over these.
21 through 27.
And there's a Shabbat. What's 28 looking like?
28.
We'll break it up in 14.
Okay.
But praise Yah. definitely was a great interaction. Everybody partaking. Uh, definitely was a blessing. Now, tomorrow we're going to be traveling, but we are still going to have 28. Now, we are going to shoot for 7, but we may hit 8.
Because we're traveling. It's 2 hours away, but we're gonna try to leave that place like 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not 5.
6.
So, yeah, we may leave like around that time to make it by 7 or 8. So, keep your notifications on. We will be doing 28. We will not miss a day.
Especially now, we
Y'all
only
willing.
got 3 more days left.
Y'all willing. So praise Yah. You guys have a blessed night. Shabbat Shalom. Enjoy your rest. And Yah bless you guys. Shalom, everybody.